Good evening, my followers of fear. We're back once again on a dark night to do a reading from Hannah and Other Stories. And this time, there are two key differences. One, it is not a stormy night, just a dark one. And two, you can see my full face. Ooh, spooky. Well, in tonight's reading, I shall be reading to you from the title story of our collection, Hannah. A ghost story, but one that might be a bit different than anything you've read before. So without further ado, let us begin. The Penton incident, as I call it, began as many of our ghost hunts did. Diesel and I heard about Penton Elementary School in Penton, Ohio, through the suggestion page on our website. Supposedly, a little girl had committed suicide at the school over 30 years ago, and her spirit now haunts the abandoned building. We did a little research, saw a girl had died there about 35 years ago, and the building had attained a reputation as haunted over the years. We petitioned the Penton City Council to investigate the school before it was torn down, but were denied permission to investigate after a lot of back and forth and a campaign from some local mothers who didn't want their town becoming a macabre tourist trap. However, we decided to explore the school anyway. Damn the consequences. The incident occurred in October last year. Diesel was driving his RV through Penton's suburbs, the town unaware of what we were about to do. We pulled into the parking lot behind the old school building, and I stepped into the cool night air. Waiting for us was a single fan, one of our biggest supporters, and the person who had suggested Penton Elementary several months prior. Marie Shawcross greeted us with the expected enthusiasm, running towards us from her car with the biggest grin on her face. "Oh my God!" she squealed. "Dominic Holmes! Hey, Marie. Thanks for joining us." Marie only blushed, giggled, and said, "Oh my God!" again. She was excited, which at the time I was happy about. Excited guests tend to energize the spirits and lead to more evidence, which means more views, subscribers, and sponsorships, which means we get to keep doing investigations and posting them on WeTube. So I was happy she would help us keep the cycle going and allow us to keep doing what we love. Not only that, but Marie was also local, her family having lived in Penton for 5 generations. Her connection to the area, along with her energy, made her the perfect candidate to join us for an investigation. Plus, her mother was one of the more vocal opponents of our investigation, so we got a bit of glee inviting her daughter out with us. And based on our emails, so did Marie. There was a groan and Diesel stepped off the RV with 3 bulky bags hanging from his shoulders. "Could you give me a hand, Dom?" he asked, pretending not to notice Marie. "This stuff weighs more than your mom." I laughed and gave Diesel the finger. Marie squealed again. "Diesel Berkowitz!" Diesel finally looked in Marie's direction and did his usual off-camera routine for pretty girls. Blink excessively, he'd pretend to rub his eyes and then drop his lower jaw like a classic cartoon character. "Hello, beautiful young lady." He threw the bags down and extended a hand. "Where are my manners? Freddie Berkowitz, but call me Diesel. Oh, don't ask why, I forget myself." Marie laughed and took his hand, suddenly at ease with us. That was Diesel's talent. He put people at ease, especially the starstruck ones. I still have no idea how he does it, though it may have something to do with the fact that he has the easy humor and the friendly features of a late-night TV show host. Actually, in another life, I think he'd make a great TV show host, but he prefers seeking the truth. And honestly, I can't blame him. With the pleasantries out of the way, we had Almery sign some documents absolving us of any culpability, should she sustain any injuries or legal trouble while investigating with us. Then let her on board the RV. Her eyes lit up as she saw the array of equipment we had set up and waiting. EMF meters, REM pods, an SLS camera, digital audio recorders, infrared cameras, and at least 4 spirit boxes. Everything a ghost hunter would need to investigate a haunted location. Diesel showed her what each device was for and how to use it, and then we got down to business. So, here's how tonight will go, I said. First, we'll film a quick opening for the episode. Explaining the history of the location and the hauntings. Then we'll head in and start investigating. We'll go to different places in the building and try different devices in the hopes of getting some results. Around 3, we'll call it a night and head out. And after Diesel and I have recovered from the night's activities, we'll look over the footage and evidence. If we manage to catch anything, we'll share it with you and get your reaction to it, especially if any of the evidence is stuff you captured or looks like a spirit really wanted to interact with you. Almery shivered with excitement when I said that last sentence. Not surprising. Whether a professional ghost hunter, an amateur, or just someone who watches the shows at home, believers in the paranormal love the idea of being able to interact with a spirit, provided, of course, it's an interaction they want. Just remember to follow our directions, Diesel added. No matter what happens, 100 things could go wrong, the least of which is someone interfering and contaminating our investigation. Dom and I are used to it, so just follow our directions and everything will go fine. Got it! Almery held her thumbs up to show her understanding and enthusiasm. And if we come across a malevolent entity, then we have sage, holy water, and oils, and a few other items to stop it from attaching to us, I replied. If that doesn't work, we have a Catholic priest who will help us, regardless of your religious affiliation. But I don't think we'll come across any tonight. We would have heard of it by now if there was. So, shall we get started? We stepped off the RV, Almery almost bouncing with anticipation. She then took a tripod-mounted camera from Diesel, turned it on, and traded on the school doors. The camera covered, Diesel and I stepped into frame, and Almery pressed record. I began the episode's introduction, modulating my voice to be deep and attention-grabbing. Penton Elementary School. 35 years ago, this was a site of a horrific tragedy. Late one night, a little girl who went to school here snuck out of her home. She broke into the building and hung herself in the auditorium. Her spirit still haunts the school to this very day. We're here in Penton, Ohio, Diesel continued, to investigate claims of crying, shadow figures, and even sightings of a little girl wandering the halls. This school has never been investigated by a professional team before. It'll be torn down next summer, and we're going to see if we can confirm these rumors of ghostly sightings before it's gone. I'm Dominic Holmes. I'm Diesel Berkowitz. And we're HNB Investigations. We waved our hands at the camera, the way we began every episode for the past 7 years. Off camera, Almery clapped excitedly. With our intro done, we waved to Almery and had her join us in front of the camera. She was nervous again, but with a bit of goofing around from Diesel, we were able to get her relaxed enough to talk to the camera. Hi, she said. I'm Almery Shawcross. I'm a freshman at Aurelian University, and I'm really excited to be at HMB Ghost Investigations. You grew up here in Penton, didn't you? I asked. Almery nodded. Were the hauntings at the school discussed much growing up? Well, kinda. I mean, a lot of the adults who didn't really like talking about it, let alone us talking about it. My own mother refused to even admit the old school building existed. Maybe because she went to school with the girl who died. She what? Diesel's eyes widened. I remember the town hall meeting where we'd been denied permission to film at the school. Almery's mother, Diane Shawcross, had called us troublemakers and conmen and said the town didn't want us stirring up trouble. Her face had gotten so red during the speech, I was surprised steam didn't come out of her ears. Yeah, I guess that's why she never talked about it. Almarie pushed a strand of hair behind her ear. But the kids around town talked about it, of course. The dead girl's spirit is supposed to haunt the halls, asking for help. What does she want help with? I asked. We'll hopefully find out, said Diesel. Have you ever been inside the school before, Almarie? She shook her head. I know some kids did tests of courage, but my mother would have killed me if I tried. She doesn't even know I'm here right now. She'll be pissed when she finds out, I remarked. Almarie smiled, the smile of someone who finds the idea of biting the hand that feeds her somewhat alluring. Probably. With the opening of our video finished, we put on our backpacks full of gear and turned towards the school, which in the dark of night was quite imposing. The school was long and rectangular, with numerous windows and a metal awning over the entrance. Back when this school was built, it probably resembled a low-rise office building with a playground next door, and was state-of-the-art. Now, however, many of the windows were broken from years of neglect and thrown rocks. The awning and the poles holding it up were rusted and bent, and the bricks were weathered and even missing in places. It had an air of neglect and melancholy about, like it had once been a happy place, a place where children could learn and grow surrounded by friends, but now it was only a place that nurtured bittersweet memories and dark legends. It was to this imposing edifice we walked, specifically to the back cafeteria doors, which were kept shut with a thick black chain. Unlike the rest of the school, the doors and windows at this entrance were relatively intact, probably because they were such an obvious entry point, and nobody wanted to be caught messing with it. Nobody but us, that is. I withdrew a bolt cutter from my pack, angled the teeth onto a single link, and squeezed the levers. There was a metallic crack, and the chain separated and fell from the handles. Access granted. We opened the doors and entered Penton Elementary School. Tell me, followers of fear, if you had a chance to go with your favorite ghost hunting team into a haunted location, would you do it? Well, what do you think happened to HNB Investigations? Will they find anything? To find out the answer, you'll have to grab a copy of Hannah and Other Stories. It'll be released September 23rd, but you can pre-order it using a link in the description and in a pinned comment down below. That's all for now, my followers of fear. Until next time, good night and pleasant nightmares.